Doing a little bit of rewiring. Gonna redirect wires and make sure they're all cleaned up and mounted and all that fun stuff. The coil, I'm gonna turn around so this wire, instead of coming down the front to the spark plug, I'm gonna run it to where it comes down the frame and out to the spark plug, so it opens this compartment up more. And these wires here, I'm gonna tuck up under the tank or beside the tank, wherever I can put them. And my clutch cable was too close to the exhaust. I got a new one that I'm gonna put on and reroute over here. So basically I'm gonna do some rewiring, make the bike look a little more chopped out. So let's get to it. All right, time to have some fun. You know, it's always fun working on vehicles. It can be frustrating, but all in all, I enjoy it. It's like a form of ooh-shah to me to be able to take something that's not right or something that I don't like and redo it, make it something of my own. So it's going to be interesting to see what this bike turns into. And yeah, to take the seat and the tank off, it's just a couple bolts. It's pretty easy. I'll show in the video when I put it back. Let's see if I can get this thing turned around. We'll go from there. Because this coil, this wire was hanging down below, and I flipped it upside down and it mounted just fine. I'm going to see if I can actually turn it around to redirect it, because I don't like how it sits. When it's facing this way and going up through the frame, it sits right next to it. If I can actually get this to work, which I don't know if I can or not, I'll be able to redirect it back towards the carburetor. Now, so the got. Alright, let's see what kind of luck I got. Oh, it looks like it's going to work. Look at that. Now, I just need to see if I can get these other wires actually reach this other side so they can go where they need to go. Just need a little bit. Oh, it's going to be tight, but I think I got it. Oh yeah, it might just work. Work with it. There we go, flip it around. Get that wire pushed up like so. That wire, that wire. Okay. Can't be like that with me. Not gonna be easy, I'll tell you that much. Okay, I gotta look at this a little bit, see if I can get a little more slack out of this one wire. With this one, where do you go that maybe I can get? Yeah, it's a centimeter. Gonna redirect you to get. Yeah, we're gonna have to tuck you back down under the frame, up through here. Not a big deal, just a little bit of extra work. Bring you up the frame, and oh voila, we got a perfect amount. Like, any more, he ain't gonna give me any more, and any less, it would be too little. Let's see. That, you. That one. Oh. Come on, baby. Come on, let's just try to give you a makeover to work with me, babe. There we go. I think I got one bolt. If I can get one in, I can get the other in. Right. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. She'll go, but she's gonna be a tight one. Gonna definitely be a tight fit. Boy, she's gonna look nice this way though. I'll make it look more like a custom bike instead of stock, bulky stuff everywhere. Kind of open up this engine compartment. Because I'd like to be able to see through as much as possible. Okay. Gotta take it back out, it ain't fitting exactly right. I'm gonna have to finagle with it a little bit. A lot of mosquitoes today. These up top. Or this way might have to do what we do. Just like doing any kind of custom work, first way you try it usually never works. You always gotta play around. After playing around, put it back together, take it apart a couple times that you don't know the bike or the car or whatever you're working on. Back to freaking. Eventually, I'll know more about keyways than I ever thought I'd want to. But I figure if I bought it and got this much money into it, it's not worth selling, so may as well make it a custom ride, right? Now now I got my spark plug facing the backwards like I want. It's the matter of getting it to where I can actually keep it away from the engine block. And I know this is kind of cheating, but I'm a zip tie man. Zip tie, electrical tape, duct tape, whatever it takes. I don't really build $100,000 cars and bikes. I'm always doing, rat rods because I don't have the money to put into it to be doing that, and rat rods look just as good. See? I got that line here. Now, all that's going to be open instead of it coming straight down through. It was really blocking the view here. And it was right next to the exhaust. Now, I'm not even touching the engine. I'm not away from it. I'll put that piece here in a minute. I got this, now all I need to do is I got my throttle cable. I need to make sure that stays good. Get this up here. We got us a nice little rubber piece that goes here. There's the tank, and I just need to make sure I got enough clearance that I'm not rubbing on this throttle cable or any of these wires because I don't want them to rub through. But before I go that far, I need to figure out how I'm going to get this up here. Now, I'll probably take, there's a little wire bundle right here, which, let me take you up to it real quick. That wire pack right here, I got to figure out how to get it up here like that and put the tank back on, which shouldn't be too hard. I'll probably put a couple zip ties and some electrical tape. Well, this flex cable is not too bad. It's not the plastic, but the metal's still good. I think I'm going to keep using it and keep my good one. I got a brand new one here. Keep this one. Because this one here only has about 1,000 mile, 1,600 kilometer on it. So I think I'm going to put another 400 or 500 kilometer on it because it's easy enough to change. So what I'll do is I'll leave this one on, set this one aside so I can use later. Now, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I need to work on the wire first. Throttle cable. Yeah, this throttle cable is about gone. I need to get a new one soon of that. Okay. Get one of these bigger zip ties on here. Big black ones, not left. No, so it'll have to be a white one. Nothing I can do about it. Alright. Put that there for now. Next thing I gotta figure out, maybe put another one right there. Wish it was black, but I can always get black one later. For now, it's more about practicality. Okay. I know this is a little bit ghetto using electrical tape like this, but man, a lot of these wires are kind of crappy, and I'm just gonna kind of tape them up a little bit so it ain't so bad. Doesn't have to be perfect, just good enough. Even like this, this starter coil, I'm gonna put the electrical tape over it to try to keep some of that water off of it. I taped the ends real good, but you know, never be too careful. I should keep a lot of that in place. Alright. Now I got that in place. I'm down to this little spring that hooks to the brake. I gotta put back on. Pretty much it's a brake. It controls your brake light. It's a little power spring. But anyway, then I got my clutch cable. I'm gonna have to sit back and think about this one for a minute, where I'm gonna put it. I got all this stupidness that I can tuck it in around. Just maybe get it like so. Alright, so what I did is I took it down through this clip, and there's a bolt here that a lot of people use for the forward controls. It's right in front of the radiator bolt, wrapped around there. And down through where the brake light spring is, I'll put that back down through, past that one, like so, to get it away from that exhaust. That one. Screw this bolt down. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get this one in place, screw this bolt down, tighten her up real nice. Kind of get it good. Get it sometimes if you just can get the right amount of leverage. Yeah, try not to hurt yourself when you do it though. That kind of stung the knuckles. Alright, let's try that one again. That was working. Get it. Matter of holding it there. I got the wrench up under here. You see how I got the wrench? Get her pull forward to get the clutch cable back on. Now I can tighten her up. Test it. Oh yeah, nice and good. Got the clutch cable back on. Still working. Now for this fun piece. I'm gonna have to put some more electrical tape up here because I got some exposed wire. The wires themselves ain't exposed, but the outside casing to the wire right here is showing where the connectors are. I don't want that getting wet, so I'm just going to put a little more electrical tape over top of whoever owned this before's electrical tape job. Later on down the road, when I get extra money, I'll buy a new wire harness. Until then, I'm going to have to deal with the wires I got. Alright, now I can figure out how I want to zip tie. I have an idea. I'm going to go up around this frame and slide it back. This main frame is still off in a couple spots. I can just get it to work right. There we go. Come on. Now, you into that hole. Slide you forward as far as I can get it forward, and then I'm going to finish tightening it up. Now, that brake light cable is pushed all the way to the front of the frame up to here. It ain't a perfect fix, but got it done. Now I'm going to bring it through the frame this way, out and around the frame this way. Now I'm next to exhaust again. Under. Like I said, when you're doing custom work, the biggest thing I've learned about doing custom work is the first way you do it never works out. You usually got to play with it a couple times to get it going good. This piece here, it's a little rubber cap that goes on the end. It likes to pop off and go down over that dang spring, so you'll probably have to do what I just did, take it off the spring and put it back up onto the thread. Now that I got this here, I got that cable there, I'm going to go behind this one because I ain't got enough to go behind it. I'm going to have to go in front of it. Just because you want to do something doesn't mean it's going to work. Uh-oh. I slid that wire too far forward on the frame. Alright, let's slide that zip tie back now. I never fully tighten anything until I'm done, just in case something like this happens. When you're doing customized work, leave it a little loose because you might have to slide stuff back forward to get everything angled correctly. Now, let's see. I can get you here, around here, keep you kind of hidden back in here, around and over, and now we're good. See, now it fits. And when I'm done, I'll push that zip tie farther back to frame as far as I can go and then tighten it. So I'm doing that stuff until I know for sure I can attach everything correctly. Alright, put the spring back through the hole, down through this hole, into there where it got it from. Oh, gotta turn the spring the other way. What is this, the third or fourth time I've had to put it down through that hole? Not a big deal. That spring attached again at the bottom. Wrench up under, and you where the spring is, you put the wrench on the spring to pull it down over and it'll come right off. Back to the trusty electrical tape, because where the cap is and the tape is, it's separated a little bit. Not a big deal. Now let's get us a nice chunk of tape. Go back behind it. Like, I got some split ends on there, so I'm just using it as a bucket. And what I'll do is I'm going to pinch that end off, spin it around, tuck it under, and that'll give it just enough extra that it'll be like padding. Like I said, nothing has to be perfect, just good enough. Right now, I'm not trying to make sure the tape's perfectly wide, because I'm just trying to put some thickness on that corner so the wires don't want to bend in case. Yes, I know this bike has a lot of electrical tape on it, but who cares? She's running. It works. Like I said, I don't want to throw a whole lot of money in this stuff. I just want to get it working and looking decent. Now, rat rod, just need it to work and look decent. Doesn't matter how pretty it is, because it's pretty in its own way, like an abstract art. Alright, we got that tied back on that on. We got this on. Now, the only two wires I have really shown on my frame are here and here instead of all this. So what I'm going to do now is, since I got that on, I'm going to push that zip tie back as far as I can. Tighten her up. And where's my knife? I'm going to trim it off a little. And that's trimmed off. Now, as you can see, all this is open. That wire pack was sitting right here, down to here. This wire here was coming down across here. I opened all this up. Look, I can fit my whole fist through it now without, even up here, I can get my fist through it. And that's what I'm looking for. And like with this tank, it's still gonna sit low on there, and eventually I'm gonna get a custom piece to raise my tank up a little bit to give me more room. And all this here, I'll eventually be putting up under the tank into that custom rail. And it'll give me the howling wolf look, where the tank is sloped instead of flat. And it'll look like I actually extended my bike's frame when I really didn't. But for now, until I get that frame mount for underneath the tank for all these wires, they gotta stay right here, but eventually they're gonna flip up here in that tank. Will be more angled, and I'll be getting different handlebars, but that's in the future. Right now, the biggest thing I want to focus on is this. Alright, almost done. I thought this was gonna be like a 2-day job, and it turned out to be a 1-day job. Alright. That's out the way. Okay. What's next? I think we can put the gas tank and the seat back on now. We're pretty much done. All right. Rubber mount. It goes underneath the tank right here. Now, what's going to be a little bit pain in my butt is now I got the wires there. I got to make sure I lift up and an angle right. That's on these. On the tank, bottom of the tank. I don't know if I can get a good enough view. Right here is some hooks that go over top of these. So you gotta try to finagle them hooks on. Over top of everything. Which isn't too hard, it's more patience than anything. Definitely gonna take a minute. Just like anything, you gotta just give it a little bit of love. Basically on. Over on that one. Now I gotta find the washer that fell out of that hole. That's gonna be fun. Alright, I'm back. I actually had to stop the video and watch it to see where the washer right here went. It actually fell and rolled down and came under the chair. But now I got it, I can pick up where I left off. One thing I want to do before I get too far is I kind of go over what I'm doing, what I did. Got these all out the way, got that open, got that good, that down on. The spark plug, like I said, I zip tied to where on the outside of the carburetor, there's this cover. I got zip tied to the mount that the cover goes to. But here in a second, I gotta put the seat on. I noticed some of these bolts, like every so often, I just gotta go over the whole bike and any bolt that you see, tighten them up because this keyway, I don't know if it's only my keyway or all keyways, but they sure do vibrate pretty good, and the bolts all like to back out, they don't stay in tight, so I'm always going over any bolt I can find and tightening as many times as I can just to make sure I don't have no loose bolts, especially my seat bolt here. It's almost guaranteed that I gotta tighten it once a week. Now, before I move on, I got a bunch of wires under here and they go into this. If you can see, that's not the best. So what I'm going to do is, once again, do some electrical tape just to make sure it stays dry. Get it as waterproof as possible because right now it's been raining a lot here in Thailand. And I live in Sattahip, Thailand, not too far from Pattaya or Rayong. And right around this time of year, it likes to rain a lot. I need a knife. Where's my knife? Yeah, if I can loosen this zip tie up, I can use it somewhere else. That'd be real nice. Here's my knife. I know I should keep my tools more organized, but hey, a bucket's always worked for my dad. Why can't it work for me? Take this big zip tie off and put a smaller one on. And I could use this somewhere else if I like. I'm already thinking where I can put it. Sorry I'm not looking at the camera as much in this video. But I am working on the bike while I'm talking. And I really like doing custom work. Because like I said, I've never really had a whole lot of money to put into vehicles. And I've always bought used vehicles that weren't in the best shape. And I always figured if I'm going to buy a part and there's a part that's a performance part or an upgrade to what I have, and it's right around the same price as the regular part that I was going to put on, yeah, I'll spend an extra couple bucks and put the performance part on. And I've always custom out most of my vehicles. Not all of them. There's a couple I haven't, but most of my vehicles I've always, I pretty much always custom them out. Like I said, I use a lot of electrical tape just for a simple fact. I'm in Thailand. It's the rainy season right now. I don't even know if it's the rainy season, but it's been raining a lot. So I'm just covering my bases because my bike, when it gets wet, it likes to not start and you have to kick start it. So I've been going over all the wires, making sure they're clean, making sure they're tight, making sure I'm taping them off because I would really like to be able to ride this bike in the rain more than my little scooter. Wider tires, more traction, safer you are. Like even this little thing here, look, see how corroded everything's getting? Nah, man, like, it looks like this is supposed to be down in there, but I don't know. We're just gonna see about just taping it up real good. Whoever had this bike before me, they did a lot of work to it. You can tell it was wrecked. The frame's good, but you can tell it's wrecked from the dents and a lot of the stuff they replaced. And it looks like the stuff they replaced it with was an old bike that wasn't in good shape. But if you got several bikes laying around, why pay for parts when you can use them? So I understand it. It just sucks because everybody has, oh man, that dang wire. These wires are so old that wire just pulled off in there. Now I gotta pull this clip out and redo it. Once again, anytime you're customing anything out, not everything goes smoothly. Because now, I gotta, it broke off right here, and it goes down in that corner there. So I gotta get that piece cleaned out and this piece shoved back in and tight. Let's see if I can pull the old school cut around until you cut through the rubber until you can start filling wires. Like that. Alright. Now I got some clean wires. I can just get inside of here cleaned up pretty good. I think I'll make this be able to work. There are two different wires taped together to go from there to there. Why wouldn't they just use one? Like, this is wild. Like, I gotta show you this. They literally have two short wires connected together to make one single jumper. Huh. Oh well, I'm not taking them ones apart. I'm gonna just keep with it, have it noted, and then I'll fix it later when I get time. Trying to get this back together quick and in a hurry, because in the next day or so, my daughter wants to use it. She's getting real good at riding it. She's having a lot of fun. Here eventually, I think she's going to end up with a Ninja 300. She has a PCX 150 right now. It's pretty nice. She wants a Ninja 300, so she'll get it. She does good in school. She doesn't lie. She doesn't steal. She doesn't do drugs. I can't be more proud of her. She forgot to put her kickstand down on her PCX one day and it fell over and got scratched. She called us instantly and told us, like, that's pretty good. I was proud of her. So, once she keeps that up, she'll get her Ninja within probably the next year. And I don't recommend using a knife doing this. This is just an old school way of stripping wire. I don't have a wire stripper over here in Thailand, so I just use my knife. Sometimes my fingernails, sometimes pliers, whatever I feel like. Fingernail might actually work better. Jam that down in there, right? So many mosquitoes. Alright, now let's start over with taping this up, and hopefully I can keep them wires in there and working. That might be half the reason when I get wet it ain't working. Definitely gonna have to replace that wire, if not this clip here soon. But if I can get through another 500 kilometer or 500 mile, either or, I'll be pretty happy about it. Alright, that's good enough for now. The clip. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get a new wire clip here. It's corroded, but still good enough. I'm just going to, it's been working, so I'm just going to go with it for now. I'm aware of it, I'm noting it. Oh, my wiring starts acting up now, I know where to go. Okay. Do a couple of these zip ties. I don't need real big ones on these ones, so I actually got some black ones for this. Start back here. Get these wires nice and tight and close together. Like I said, I can't knock anyone for doing their own backyard build on this. Because I'm doing the same thing. I'm sure the next person that gets this bike after me is going to be like, what the heck did Joe do? You know what? I made her work for me. Sometimes what works for you isn't someone else's working and it's a mess. Because I found things that work for people that I thought was just a mess. But right now I don't have a lot of money. I want to have fun with my daughter riding. So this is what I'm going to do. Alright. Now, another power block right here. I can't lift it up any higher. That's as high as it goes. I'm going to put a little tape on it too, just because it's right next to the fender and everything. The wires are still covered with the wire casing, but it's raining like heck over here. So we'll have a couple hours of rain, couple hours of not rain. Like right now it's hot and dry, but earlier it rained like monsoon downpour. I'd really be able to like to ride this in the rain more than my scooter. I trust it more. But every time she gets wet, the wires don't want to stay working. lot of people that see my videos might not know, I've been working on this bike for 6 months, on and off, on and off. I'll get her working for a while, find something that needs fixed. It's not like I just bought her and she's working. Technically, I'd say I bought a lemon and made it not a lemon. How can I tuck these back in here a little better than they were? Keep that fully nice back right here. That tucked down under, in, that in, under. Okay. I got my finger on a nut that's loose back behind here, so when it tightens, I can take my finger off of it. Now my hand's off it, it's actually done. Same with here. You gotta reach your finger back here and hold your finger on the nut, or it ain't gonna tighten. And this one's a little trickier. You gotta actually move that out the way so you can get back behind there. Alright, got that tight. They're all tight. And these ones I didn't even loosen. They just loosened on their own, kind of like the seat. Now, for this tank, I'll bring it in and show you a little bit of a closer view of what come off of there. I don't know if it's original, but it's like a washer, a spacer, and a nut and a bolt. The spacer they had down underneath with the nut, and the washer was up top. So now I need to get the bolt in here, down through the hole. Like I said with anything, I just got to give it a little bit of patience. I'll be alright. I'm not the most patient person, but I do like working on cars and working on motorcycles to custom them out. I think it's fun. You're always got to play around with stuff. Nothing's ever easy. I never a lot of times you got to use tools not necessarily for what they're always meant to be used for to get the job done. Like this thing's a little garden pick, but I use it a lot playing with this bike for wedging. Alright, I'm down through now. That thick washer goes underneath. Like I said, I don't think this is the original bolt. I think they got this thick washer. Like it's actually a spacer as a washer, just so it'll work and fit. Now I got that on there. I got to wiggle this nut down there without dropping it, which, yeah, that's a lot of fun. I'm trying to use 2 fingers real delicately. I'm back threading it a little bit. So I go to click when it drops down in, just so I don't cross thread nothing. And look, it's sliding right in. I had to back thread it a half a turn and it clicked in. And it's tightening up really easily right now. And where's my socket wrench? The size I'm using is a 12 mm. And she's on. Next is the seat. You can see there's a lip right here that catches right here, and a metal bracket that bolts right here for this typically. I'm just moving the wires a little bit out my way, lining up that bracket, set the seat down, and what I like to do is I like to take the back bolt and put it in, but not the whole way. Enough that it's not going to come out, and I still got wiggle room. Then you got 2 Allen wrench screws for the seat, which one goes here and one goes on the other side. And I always put them in a little bit in each one before I tighten anything down, because what if you tighten it down on 1 or 2 sides and then 1 or 2 sides won't fit right. If you get it all in, you can tighten it down and rotate to where everything tightens up real nice. Alright. Alright, I still don't have it totally tight. It's wiggling. I'll come over here, tighten this one up a bit. I got the other one hand tightened down to the frame. I just got to give it a crank or two. And I don't tighten my stuff completely out of hand turning. I ain't putting wrenches on there and doing all that. I'm just hand tightening. I'm on the other side doing the finishing tightening on the Allen wrench bolt. I put on there, I just put a little bit of body weight. You don't want to put too much because you'll strip it out being freaking Allen wrenches. Back to this one. See, I was able to crank that off like easy as possible. That's tight. These 2 are hand tight. Now time to get this one hand tight. Hand tight. All together. Moment of truth, I'm getting the keys. Got everything back together. Not bad. Everything seems to be working properly, so I'm going to do a slight cleanup. Now, as you can see, I opened up this compartment pretty well. The next thing I want to take off is this. These little mounts, I don't know if I'm taking them off or just going to bend them backwards, so if I ever do sell it and they want that fender flare there, they can pull it back out. But if I can get that out the way, imagine that's that much more that you'll be able to see through where you can't really even put your hand through. I'll be able to go like this over top the whole way back to this bracket. So that's what I was working on doing, opening this up to make it look like sitting at more of a tilt, more custom. And if you look, the spark plug wire was up here coming down by the exhaust and over. Now it goes back and up. When I put this on, this is going to be fun. Let me just give it a quick tighten. I'm not going to tighten up too much. It's going to make that spark plug wire pretty much disappear. So now the spark plug wire is hidden behind here and you can't really see it. So that's like pretty much what I've been working on. It's just getting all this as open as I can. Because just imagine once I get this off or bent up, you'll be able to see the whole way through. Like this tab, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it, if I'm gonna bend it in or what I'm gonna do, but these tabs are gonna have to go flat or something. So trying to open it up as much as possible.